All right, boys.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We got them. So right now it is currently Spoon, NeverGetTheSucc, and Big Jimmy HD, the Uwu Daddy himself.
God, just you literally call me anything else. Like anything, bro. Straight up, like any slur, anything would have worked. Just anything.
Oh, okay,
Goddamn.
gotcha.
No. No, that like when I was going through and like really wanting to get you on a podcast with me, the first thing I knew what I had to do was to do that.
It's so on par with your character, my dude.
Because man, do you hate it? And it's only suiting that I do it to you.
Yeah, like I get it. Like it's a meme and it's funny, but like so many people do it, dude. Like, oh my god, I get called daddy in this Discord.
More than all your ex-girlfriends?
No, they know the rules. They don't call me daddy. But like with
Yeah,
like
bet, daddy.
No, I get called it probably once every other day, which is like a very high frequent. Like that's I guess 100 and I don't know, 100 and what's half a year? Holy shit!
See, in my opinion,
180.
187.
Those are rookie numbers. So you gotta bump those numbers up. We gotta get you daddy every day, every hour. Man.
Every day, daddy.
God, man. Like that's so creepy.
No, it's
Good.
great.
Like,
it's great.
We're trying to be.
No, like the principle of it. I know like we're off of like just memeing on me because I get it's a joke, but like every time anyone's ever called me daddy, even if it's just like playing, always mom. Just call him mom. Like hard mom fixes it every time.
Really?
Because it's
No,
weird.
man.
Yeah, no, because they see how like weird it feels. I don't know. Like some people are okay with
what
it.
What you do is hit him with the mommy. That's all you do, man.
Because that can be okay though. That can be
Yeah.
like MAMI, and it's like, all right,
No,
like
no,
Lil
no,
Mommy,
no, no.
like that's like
No,
better.
no, no, no,
Like,
no.
that's-
You're just
Oh,
like,
God.
they're like,
Well,
how
not
you
for
doing,
me, I'm
daddy?
white, but-
And you're like, okay, mommy, how you doing, baby?
Yeah, but like Jimmy was saying, like that's on par with just keeping it like normal for them.
Nah, man, you just gotta creep. You gotta creep them more out than you're getting creeped out.
Just
is what it is.
hey, mom.
It's like, hey, daddy, like, what's up, grandmother? Just like,
grandmother.
Hello, mother.
It is lovely to see you, my grandmother.
Oh man. So for this podcast, I knew it was going to be degeneracy as soon as me and Jimmy was going to be on a podcast together, but I'm
100%.
really happy Suck is here now because the degeneracy only flows so far with me and Jimmy, but when Suck is with us, it gets dark.
Oh, I'm out here living for this shit, you know.
Oh, trust me, I know. I've seen your memes.
Shit, you right. Shit, you right.
The first fucking podcast was like an interview where I answer questions like, seriously about like what people have for FAT. And, like,
so at
and
that
shit.
time you were actually like fat Big Jimmy, not just Chad Boy Jim Boy.
Well, I'm always Chad Boy, Jim Boy at heart, and I think you know that. But I mean, like with like the first one, it was all I don't know. I feel like the more structure you put into these kind of things, the more serious people are going to be. Just because there's like we didn't hit all the questions the first time because like people sent in a ton of questions. A lot of them were memey and stupid. Thanks Pox and Clutch and everyone who sent those, but like a lot of them were stupid, but the majority of them were just like questions about the group and just kind of getting those hammered out like when we start, basic stuff like that. But
yeah. No, that's
with this one, there's like there's coronavirus and like that's it. There's really not much going on.
There's
That's the only
coronavirus and
man. There ain't shit else going on, man. It's just like everybody's just popping off with this shit.
That's all people are talking about.
You're goddamn right about that.
It's like we ain't got sports to talk about. We ain't got movies to talk about.
Nope.
We got coronavirus and videos, and that's it.
Well, we can talk about the fact that New York has been shut down completely, other than essential personnel. California has done the same. Florida is looking like they're going to try to go that route.
St. Louis is almost the same.
But
being
But
St. Louis.
a lot of the like Ron DeSantis, which is our governor, kind of doesn't want to go that route because he's been getting a lot of hate from um, a lot of the smaller cities. With most of Florida is rural farming country.
Yeah.
Um, you can't just shut down farms. I'm sorry, it's just not that shit just doesn't work that way. You can't just shut down slaughterhouses.
Yeah.
Um, so Florida's trying to hold out as much as possible when it comes to, you know, shutting down, but we've been lucky enough not to have to deal with that yet.
Yeah, in Dallas, like I'm based out of Dallas, or like the whole like DFW,
Hmm.
Dallas Fort Worth area, and it's so where we're currently at, it's not full quarantine. Like everyone's doing the self isolation thing if you're not an asshole. But for the most part, like I got fired from my job temporarily. Like I serve, I work at like a sushi bar while I'm in school, and so those are all shut down. And pretty much every restaurant is like uh, just takeout only or to go orders only. So like if you're a server,
That's
you're
what we
pretty
got.
much screwed. Yeah, which I get. But at the same time, it kind of sucks. But in
Fuck
terms of
man.
like actual shit, like it's kind of same thing, but everything's a little bit more quiet.
Best Buy, the Best Buy I went to recently, fucking, they were all curbside. You weren't allowed in the store. You basically what you did is you pull up. If you're picking something up from online, you go and park up. Or if you wanted to buy something, they'd send out an associate to you, and you'd buy their shit like through them.
Like a super cool drug deal.
Except for fucking monitors and cables.
I mean, a different drug for everybody else, you know.
Well, if you're buying cables at Best Buy, I think might as well be buying drugs. So that's like some of the
Oh
stupidest shit
no.
ever. Have you seen the prices on those? Oh my god.
What, you don't want to spend $30 for an HDMI to DisplayPort cable?
That shit's gold plated, bro. Like you don't even know. It's I straight up $60. And what they did was they put gold plating on the inside, which doesn't change shit. And then they had like it was long. You can give them that. It was like 20 feet, but like it
Who
was like
needs
crazy.
20
You guys
feet
seen
of
inside?
DisplayPort cable?
I thought DisplayPort was only rated for like 8 feet.
I don't even know, dude. I mean, regardless. I just think like it's like I had to talk my dad out of it. Like one time, like I was like 13 and I knew it was a bad idea
That's ridiculous.
because
That is oof.
Yeah.
Give me give gold.
I don't know how Amazon or not Amazon. I don't know how Best Buy hasn't been shut out by Amazon yet. I feel like they would
Because
be one of the first
they
people to
price
go.
match is why.
Oh,
Yep. So you go in there and you're like, Amazon has this for and they're like, okay, bet. And they sell you for that. And then you have
Yeah.
it. And then you're done.
So then you don't have to weigh the 1 day shipping.
Exactly. No, that's the other thing actually is hands on with the products. So going in and like, I like this TV. Tell me about it. And you can actually like look at the fucking TV.
Can they not read? Is everybody illiterate or is it just some?
Well, I mean, there's the difference is like, okay, if I tell you that this TV has edge lighting versus this TV has full array backlighting, are you gonna know what the difference is?
No, but I do have Google.
I mean, yeah, but like people don't realize how much of an impact that
Oh,
can make.
what you're specifically talking about is the boomers.
Man, I would even think like Gen Zers and millennials wouldn't know what the fuck that is, bud.
No, I mean I get it. Plus you can see the size because a lot of people like that's a lot of the issues that when I was buying my monitors, I was like, I see it says 24.5 inches, but like, what does that actually mean? Like
It
in
means fucking
size. So I just ended up buying two and saying fuck it. Because like I had a 17-inch laptop, and I was like, it's probably about this much big. I was like, fuck it, I'll just get two of them and call it a day.
For me, it's like, dude, looking at like those 32-inch panels, it's like a 32-inch TV, tiny. 32-inch monitor, fucking gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
And I want one desperately.
What, like the Samsung 32-inch, like curved?
Nah, man, that Dell 32-inch 2K for like $450. I want that real bad.
I haven't seen that.
It's like it's like $450. It's a 32-inch. It's 2K, and I'm just like, please, please, God, give it to me.
Gib, please.
Yes, exactly.
You know, for me, the
Go
whole
ahead.
coronavirus shutdown really hasn't affected me in
Whereabouts are you out in Florida again? You're out like
north.
you're like in the boonies.
I am in the boonies. I'm the most northern part of the area. Uh,
Okay, gotcha. Because like
so I'm far west.
I was out in Fort Myers not a week ago, basically,
Oh yeah, that's
and
down
and
there.
shit was like, yeah, no, I was in Venice Beach in Fort Myers, and it was like everyone was talking about it, everyone was like aware of it, but no one was really changing how they acted, except for like there's more Germex, and that was really
Yeah,
it.
pretty legit. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
For us, it's been pretty much the same. Everyone is doing the whole like social distancing. Like you're noticing a lot of people aren't
Mm,
like they don't walk past you like down an aisle. They don't like walk as close as they can to you. They actually stay the fuck away. And it's been nice. It's been actually really great. I've been loving this.
I can see that.
Um because like I deal with people and children on a daily basis. I don't want to go shopping and have somebody next to me the whole time.
Just fucking cough on them and watch how quickly they get away from you.
Actually, I have a really funny joke about that. Like I was walking out of a Winn Dixie and I had just drank something and like I had a cough and I walked outside and I of course I always cough into my shirt. Like I always cough down into my shirt and I coughed
Right.
into my shirt and I don't know how many people just stopped and looked at me. I actually thought that I was going to die.
That's fucking hilarious.
And
Now,
I thought it was
Jimmy,
hilarious.
you're out in Texas, right? The good old Tejas.
Yeehaw.
How's shit been going on over there? Is like I mean, obviously you're gonna see similarities, but I mean, I would assume the good old Texan boy is gonna be acting a little bit different than Yeehaws from Florida.
No,
Everything's
honestly,
bigger.
like I said yeehaw as a joke. Like Dallas and like Fort Worth. I mean, Fort Worth is a little bit more yeehaw than Dallas, but it's honestly like compare it other than like what buildings look like. You know, there's different architecture style. It's like you like shit's same as like Connecticut or or some parts of California. It just depends where you go. So it's not super. There's definitely like the kids in like high school and shit. Would always get trucks and pretend that they grew up on a farm, but in reality, the only thing they haul is fucking groceries. So,
Right.
but in terms of like differences, it's really not much. I mean, it's people just not going out as much. So,
Hey,
but
buddy.
I've been at home for the majority of the time after because gym got closed, which sucks. But yeah, no, I wish it was something interesting, like you know,
Hey,
was
buddy.
going around kissing strangers.
They could be hauling their fat girlfriends in the back of their trucks.
Shit, you right, dude.
The amount of fucking like back of the truck like prom pictures I saw in high school is just disgusting. It was so gross. It was just like no, like if you grow up in the suburbs, I don't think you can pull off the country thing. Like I'm not country whatsoever.
Mhm.
The closest thing to that is I kind of like Johnny Cash, but like other than that, I think everyone does. But no, I used to see all that shit. Even worse, bro, Confederate flag on like the big ass one right behind the truck. Like that was like something you would drive around in.
I
Oh
can't say anything.
no, we're not going to go into that. But that car got keyed so many fucking
Oh no,
times. It was always funny.
I had that truck.
You were that guy?
Yes, I 100% was.
Are you still that guy?
No.
What changed?
Um, the truck.
Is that shit not hold the same merit? Like people that own a sedan or something, it doesn't do the same work.
So in my high school, we in the parking spots. Okay, we had the front parking lot, we had the side parking lot, we had the back parking lot. Well, the side
Mhm.
parking lot from the front to the back was called Redneck Row. For a specific reason. All of us parked there. Um, we all had, the lifted trucks and whatnot. Um, I was fortunate enough to get my first vehicle. Um, and then after that, it was just trading up and getting better and better
Right.
stuff. But yeah, it was really funny because my econ and U.S. government teacher, uh, he's this big Italian dude. His name is Mr. Tremonte, and we always called him Big Sweet Tea.
Big sweet tea. All
Big
It's a
right.
good
Sweet Tea.
name.
That is a proper name.
And he always laughed because I was the only person on Redneck Row that was not white. So I was the only person out of all from freshmen to seniors the whole time I was there that was not white, that had a lifted truck and a Confederate flag on the back.
Nice.
And it was just
So
it was just it was just it was more for me. It was more of a meme
Sure.
because like I worked at Taco Bell at the time. I'm Mexican, and then I park on Redneck Row and I have a lifted truck with the Confederate flag on the back. It was great. I thought it was hilarious because just the sheer looks was entertainment for me. And Mr. T was always laughing. He's like, "You're the only brown kid out there with a Confederate flag."
Jesus fucking Christ.
He's like, "But why?" And I'm like, "Do you see the looks they give?" And he's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's why. Right there, their faces. It's what makes it perfect for me."
That's fucking hilarious.
So I
so,
go to extreme extents for the memeing.
yeah, I'm way too insecure for that shit. There's no way I'd pull that shit up.
Jimmy insecure is not something I generally think about. It's like I generally
Not
feel
as a
like
Chad
you
boy.
got exactly. I feel
No,
like
I
you
mean
always
it's
do
not
shit like
like because it's not like I mean I was insecure as fuck like up until I think freshman sophomore year of high school. I think everyone is. But it's just one of those things like I've seen enough videos on Twitter where dumb people, like let's use Confederate flag as an example. Dumb people pick fights with people they shouldn't, and they get their shit knocked out of them hard. And it's just like, is it worth it? I mean, do I really stand for anything that would really do that to me? And the answer is that's almost always no.
No,
But
it's yes.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I
know. It'd
would.
have to
I
be
I
something.
fully like for the memes. I will easily get my ass beat and not care.
100%.
Just because at the end of the day, now I even have a funnier joke to talk about the time I got
Yep.
my ass beat because I memed on someone.
Straight up.
Have you guys
Um,
seen those? Have you guys seen those fight videos though?
yeah,
Like how
no,
fucking
bro,
violent they get?
World Star Hip Hop was like my jam back in high school.
Yeah, I used to watch all that shit on Twitter and like it migrated over to like a subreddit called like fight porn,
Mhm.
and it's just straight up just people street fights. It's almost always either in like high school or like outside of a bar, and they
Yeah.
just knock the shit out of each other to the point where like their head smashes against concrete and they bounce. And that's
Yeah.
like, okay, that person is a different person from whenever they started the fight versus whenever they ended the fight, at least like
100%.
cognitively speaking.
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
So yeah.
that's to me it was always just really funny. But once I got out of high school, um, it changed because now I'm you know at the time I got out of high school, I just started working at a cemetery. Um, I was getting paid good, uh, and it wasn't some like at that time like once I left high school, I pretty much like excommunicated myself from everybody I was in high school with, because I did most of my partying from 15 to 19. Um,
Right.
so everybody wanted to go out and party on the weekends now and all this, and I had to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning to go to the cemetery and start work. It was 8 to 4 that I had to work, so I wasn't going to go out and fucking party. I was like, well, this is stupid. I've already done all my partying, done all the drinking I need to be doing. It's not fun. So I pretty much just left that back and started working. Then let's see. 2 years later. Yeah, it was 2 years later. Me and my uh, fiance now was my girlfriend. We got our own house, and then I left the cemetery, worked at Rural King, worked at Walmart, and then I started becoming a bus driver, which is also really funny because all my teachers are still teaching.
And now you're the bus driver.
And now I'm a bus driver, and it's really funny. I see Big Sweet Tea on a pretty daily basis.
Do you still call him that?
Yeah, of course. I got my kids to call him Big Sweet Tea.
There you go.
Was it like a thing whenever? Do they know the name, or is that like a name that expired?
No, like, pretty. It's been pretty like straightforward since my class gave him like coined him the name because his first year as a actual actual teacher was the year that we went into econ and U.S. government. So before that, he was just a floating sub for the high school, and then he became an actual teacher. And then the year after I left, he became I want to say the offensive line coach for the football team. And now he's football coach, and he left out of econ. He left out of econ and I believe teaching in general. I think he's just now coaching, and he took over his parents' business at an Italian restaurant.
There you go.
But I mean, the football players still call him Big Sweet Tea. We we have in his restaurant, we have a cup of, well, it's not full, but it's just a empty cup of McDonald's this old style McDonald's sweet tea cup. We have that sitting. As soon as you walk in, you can see it, and
Nice.
that's something for us to know that like that's him. Like this is the place that we know Big Sweet Tea at.
There you go.
He's
That's
also a
fucking wild,
guitarist.
dude.
He's also a hella good guitarist, and we actually got him to do like a 30-minute rendition of Freebird in class.
That fucking ass.
Because
I know, dude.
he was
Go
so
ahead.
great. No, you're good.
I was gonna say, like, that reminds me because, like, I know for me, one thing that we would do in fucking high school is we had this one teacher, fucking Mr. Rodvelt, who was a fucking Korea vet, and I think possibly Vietnam as well. I always forget. But we would the shtick was to get him on tangents that would last like 30 minutes about how he would like fucking like all his fucking war stories and shit, or like get him talking about spam. The dude was obsessed with fucking spam.
Like the meat, or like
Yeah, no,
spam
yeah,
email.
no. Spam,
Who's
spam
obsessed
the
with
meat.
spam email?
Yeah, no, spam the meat. He was obsessed with that shit. And it was always funny as shit because like the goal would be is like it's a test day and everyone's like, fucking tripping out and shit. And what we would do is be like, hey, Mr. Rodvelt, so what'd y'all ever do over in, what were your thoughts on Jimmy Carter or something like that? And he would just fucking go in for like an hour about how Jimmy Carter was the worst president ever or some shit.
That's
And it was fucking great. It was so good.
That was something I used to always do. I used to get teachers on tangents like all the time, and I also only referred to my teacher, and they were all cool with me. I wasn't like an asshole, like a little bit, but they liked me. I only called them their first name.
really.
I learned it like the first day. Yeah, I saw one of my teachers in the grocery store. I was like, "What's up, Karen? How you doing?" And she was super nice lady, not a Karen, but
Ah,
yeah,
God,
no, that shit.
she's cultured.
Oh yeah, no, and like I used to get sent to like the assistant principal's office, and just be like, "Oh, you can't call your teachers by your first name, James." And I was like, "Okay," and then like I would just continue on doing it. Then it just became a thing that everyone knew and was cool with.
That's interesting. Yeah. I don't think I ever called a teacher by their first name, as far as I'm aware, except for like as a meme. But for the most part, like, I always did just the regular.
I can't remember if I had a teacher that I called by the first name. Um, there there would have been our English my English two teacher. Yeah, it would have been my English two teacher, my fiance, girlfriend at the time. was the teacher's aide for that class, and I always referred to her as Jennifer. She didn't like it, but it was like she was okay if I did it, but like I wasn't like trying to get her actual attention like in class. Like I couldn't just be like raising my hand and go, "Hey Jennifer." She didn't like that. But if we were like having a conversation and whatnot, and if there was any reason for me to be talking to her as like a first person, I would refer to her as Jennifer, not Miss Pinot.
Okay, so I got a couple of questions on that story. So she was a teacher's aide at your high school, and now
My
she's your fiance while you
no
were
no my fiance now. My fiance. Me and my fiance been together since day one of high school.
Oh, okay. I thought she was like, I was about to say you
No,
pulled some moves, bro. Like,
no, bro.
Is out here.
I goddamn wish. Jesus, solid 10.
God,
And
isn't that
Miss Matuzik, 24-year-old biology teacher. Her lab coat was longer than her skirt. Just
Nice.
what does that mean? Lab coat was
her
longer than her
her
skirt?
her lab coat. You know how the lab coat goes down, the white lab coat goes down?
Yeah.
Her dress was shorter than where the lab coat ended.
So I'm like mad confused on that analogy. So was it long as shit or
It's
short as shit?
It's short as shit.
You said it's
short as
longer
shit.
than when her dress went down, but then would she be walking
the
around looking
No,
like
no,
a
no. So
mummy?
like a lab coat goes to like about the
Mid-
middle of your quads.
Okay.
The dress was shorter than that.
Oh, got you. So it was
There
like
you
kind of
go.
like okay. I was like that's a
just
weird ass thing.
just her ass cheeks were covered pretty much.
Damn.
He's out here being a horn dog is what it is.
Bro, I was 18, okay, in biology because I had failed biology on FLVS, which is Florida Virtual School. So I got to opt in for later. And I got Mr. Tuzik, and it was all of my friends. We were all on the football team, and most of us were 18, and all of us were literally hitting on her every single day. Every day.
I'm not surprised. That's
It
the thing
was
about high school and college, man. Is like that shit's just like fucking everywhere.
yeah, but at least with college, like everybody's legal.
But then like high school is just like
You know, because like honestly, I think that shit's changed for me since I've graduated. Like I'm in college now. Like I used to want to fuck a lot of my teachers because a lot of them were hot. But like at the same time though, like I look back on it differently now. Like I
Really?
think, oh, okay, that's creepy as fuck. You want to fuck a 16-year-old? Like, all right, like that's
well,
you know,
Bro,
yeah.
I was
It's
legal.
like I would give him a
We
high
were
five
not.
in the hallway, but like that's still weird, you know?
We were not. We were not that far in age, and I was legal. I also got. I never paid attention to her class. Like I never paid attention to what she was teaching in class. I always paid attention to that class though. And she somehow taught me science. And I don't remember it, but I ended up getting a C on the final exam.
She taught me, but fuck, do I not remember shit about that?
Like it's crazy because like she must have Jedi fucking mind tricked some biology into my head because I don't remember anything, and I guarantee you I know I didn't try learning anything in that class, and I still walked away with a C in that class. Like I fully thought I was going to fail that final exam and have to take it over, which I was like, darn, I have to take it over again.
Okay, is this sexist? Like I tried harder in the classes where the teachers were hotter. I don't know why. It's like a subconscious thing. It's just I did it and I stand by it.
That's just you trying to fucking flex is what it is. It's just
Yeah,
like
look
you're
how
like
smart-
you're in the class with that hot chick and you're just like, yeah, that's right. I got 100% on that test. What's good is what you're doing. That's exactly what's happening. You're just yeah, you saw me. I didn't miss a single question on that homework. That's right. You're hoping that it helps you in your chances with them. Because you have no other way to socially show your worth in that class except for your intelligence in said class
Mhm.
and your maybe adeptness in language otherwise, but that's like, so that's why you just do well in those courses, or
I mean,
attempt to do well, I should say.
I feel that. I don't know. I always paid more attention though, because if it's like a teacher or something that was old, I know it sounds fucked up, but like I just wouldn't give as much. Like I just wouldn't care. You know, it
They're
was just
probably like they also might be that the older people were just like boring to you. You might have found the younger individuals or hotter individuals to just be more in, you know, in line with what you were wanting, like in terms of engagement.
well, that's true. I don't know, because there was like some like she's probably 50 now and she's still super hot. She's a dime. Like I don't give out dime passes. Like calling anyone a 10, I don't do that. There's like 3 people in my life I would do that. She was one of them. You know, and she was like 50 though. It was crazy. So I don't know, man. That's wild. But I still think it's creepy. Like looking back on that shit, like,
Man,
like it's weird.
In my opinion, it's not creepy of you because, like, as someone who might be underage looking up to someone, that's fine because
Oh yeah,
like,
no, yeah.
but like if
But-
if they were hitting back, that then you could be like, that's a little suspect, my guy.
Yeah, because like, dude, the moment like I thought about it once, like seriously, like the moment the gender switch, I get sexist as hell. You know, I'm just like, oh, like fuck no. If it's like a guy teacher fucking a girl, I'm like, that's weird as shit. Like fuck no. And then I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, it's the same shit.
It's literally the exact same.
I guess it's just it hits differently though when it's gender reversal.
I mean, ooh, that shit do be hitting different.
Good note, my dude.
As a song, it's like really fucking popular in the EDM world. Sorry, my bad reference point.
No, I thought the show was funny, but
fucking. You know what I'm so to touch back to original point of conversation with the coronavirus. You know what I'm hype about after all this shit is done and over?
Mass population being lower than it was going into it.
a bunch of
Fucking
sports happening at
Nah,
once.
bro. I don't give a shit about population. I'll give a shit about sports. My apartment gonna be cheap as dick after this. That's what I care about.
That's great. Yeah,
It's
no,
something where like, because like I move here in the next couple of months, and it's just like, oh, bet doesn't matter.
makes
No,
sense.
that's actually
yeah.
no, that's actually dope. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I'm glad this virus is happening now, and
Well,
not
dude,
like
it happens every
later.
century. Like literally every century, it happens. Last century
Yeah,
had the
that's
Spanish flu. The century before that, I'm pretty sure was not the plague, but it was fucking. Let's see, 1820.
COVID 1820.
Jesus fucking Christ. 1820. That'd be fucking plague.
We out here trying to get the booga flu started.
So yeah. So you had the bubonic plague in 1720, and then you had in 1820
syphilis.
you had chloria, 1920 had Spanish flu, and then 2020 of coronavirus.
See, I'm trying to figure out. Okay, we have everybody's sitting there, and I don't want to get political. In the sense of like, I'm not going to argue anything, but
sure.
Everybody's getting all up in arms for it being like the president calling it the Chinese flu.
I mean, like,
but
I guess,
we literally had the Spanish flu. Come on.
But it didn't come from Spain.
The difference was as well as like A, it didn't come from Spain. B, it was a different time. It was literally 100 years ago. Where even if it had came from Spain 100 years ago, they still wouldn't have given a shit. If it had, like, we live in a different age today where it's something where that's important to people, is to be accurate in its representation of words, to not demean from other populace, basically.
I mean,
yeah, and the backstory on the Spanish, I read this week. I don't have like a bunch of knowledge about this. I'm not trying to act like I do, but like the reason the Spanish flu is called the Spanish flu is because it happened everywhere. It actually originated in like the U.S., like Kansas or something. But it
fucking Kansas.
Yeah, fucking Kansas, man.
Kansas.
First Dorothy, now that shit. But but no, but like they were the only ones reporting that shit back in the day. So then they were like, all right, let's all call it Spanish flu. But I mean, then again, everyone was racist back then, so it's kind of like.
And that's what I'm saying.
You
Is
know.
like it was a different time back in the 1920s. Like even if it had came from Spain, and they were calling it the Spanish flu, like, no one would have gave a shit. Today, people are culturally aware now, and people give a shit. Is the difference versus back then? It was just like it wasn't a big deal because people, if they did give a shit, they were a hyper minority, and if they didn't give a shit, they were a hyper majority.
I mean,
So
I guess.
where did the term because everyone knows COVID-19 is like
Mm-hmm.
coronavirus? Who named that shit after like? I mean, I know they didn't name it after the beer ever.
Well,
Just now, but like,
Corona is a subspecies of virus. So basically,
oh shit.
The disease is
SARS.
COVID-19.
Let me think. So SARS, H5N1, H1N1, and a bunch of other respiratory viruses are all under the coronavirus family tree.
Because coronavirus we've known about for years.
Yeah, it's funny because like I had a buddy of mine whenever all this shit was popping off back in January was like sending me links being like these coronaviruses are patented, and it's because like coronavirus has been, in terms of the family subspecies, has been around for ages. We've used it militarily. There's various different viruses that are just around.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the name. I don't know. Yeah, now, if you were to ask me why it's called corona, that entire family of species, I have no idea. I just know that the reason why we call it coronavirus today is because it comes from the name of that species of virus.
Also, there's a coronavirus that bovines can get, so cows can get a form of coronavirus, and they have a vaccine for it, and it's literally called corona something vaccine, and you can give it to your cows. It's just the coronavirus thing is it's the actual just virus. COVID-19 though is specifically to the disease of COVID-19. It's from what my understanding is.
No, that's right. That's right. I've heard that. I didn't know the fucking name of it. I know that was like a whole like. I don't want to say brand because it's not a brand.
That basically is what
Jimmy
it is,
out here
though.
with his brand again.
Hell yeah, bro. Corona got hella marketing in
Is
this.
this where we stop asking questions now?
But yeah, so basically it's something where Corona. The reason why it's called that because originally it was Wuhan, then Chinese, then Corona, then COVID-19.
I mean, but
names that have been given to it.
I understand you don't want to completely just like annihilate a sect of people just because of this is what they're calling it. But wouldn't you call it the place of origin? Like if it originated, not saying that it started there, but like the mass explosion of it came from the market in Wuhan province, China.
The thing is on terms like in relation to calling it the Wuhan virus, I feel like that would be more acceptable, but calling it like just directly the Chinese virus, because like
the Chinese
like Jimmy like Jimmy said, the Spanish flu didn't originate from Spain. It's something where it's like we generally classify viruses not by their country of origin, but by other nomenclatures, Black Death, influenza, fucking etc. It's something where country of origin is usually not something that's used as a naming scheme for viruses because of the fact that they're so prevalent, generally speaking, outside of it. It's just that's where shit popped off proper,
So like the Italy virus?
I mean, yeah, like honestly, at this point, honestly, at this point, like by the same logical, momentum, you could make the argument if you were to move that way. But it's like, and that's why we stay away from it as well, is because then in the same respect, like the downtick that we saw in people eating Chinese food as of February into March.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Well, yeah, that's stupid.
People are just people are dumb, and they think that, oh, it's the Chinese virus, and in their logical steps, they're going to go, it's Chinese virus, it infects Chinese people, I shouldn't eat Chinese food, is the logical steps that they take, which is wrong.
It's
but
the best time. It is currently the best time to get Chinese food.
Straight up.
Oh yeah, shit's gonna be empty.
Dude, fucking talking on the subject of like takeout and carry out, bro. Domino's last week, 50% off all regular price pizzas. That shit was lit. We bought
Th-
like 8
I
pizzas for
I
like
didn't know that.
$50. Yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Domino's Pizza.
Oof.
Bro, I used to fucking actually no joke. I used to work for them. I used to be a delivery driver.
Oh really?
I can see that.
Hated that shit. I mean, it was cool because like you know you don't have to do like managers suck.
Like
Like it was just bad.
Jimmy
But you
coming up to people's houses and being like, "Hi, please join my Discord."
yeah, I run a gaming community. My name's Purple. Hello. God.
But no, it's like that's one shitty but lit thing that's coming out of this is delivery is fucking dirt cheap. I got fucking Papa John's tonight for like 2 pizzas, some breadsticks, and 2 2-liters for like $30, I want to say. They were large pizza, 2 toppings, and it's like, shit, man, that's all right.
I'm not gonna lie though, like I honestly want to say that like delivery drivers and like people that do the takeout, the people that are still working in these restaurants and whatnot,
Right.
they should be considered essential personnel at this point.
I mean, depending on where you are, they are. So again, to talk specifically on where I'm from, was in quarantine as of today, full city lockdown, excluding essential businesses. Now, obviously, I got myself some Papa John's.
Yeah.
So Papa John's is considered an essential business inside of the essential businesses are like liquor stores, certain delivery restaurants.
Hell yeah, liquor stores are open.
Dude,
That's gonna say
this is bulling the fuck out because like they know what's good. They're like, yeah, liquor stores open, fucking pizza joints are open, get drunk and just stay indoors for like the next 3 weeks.
That's probably what the government's like. Listen, we can't shut down the liquor store. We'll have complete pandemonium.
Because they know
No,
we're
actually,
alcoholics.
No, actually, that has to be a thing. Like, I wonder what the kickback would be on average for. I know a city, it'd probably be wild. But like, if just all liquor stores shut down and there was just none.
Well, I mean, it's crazy because like certain areas, I know, like for instance, like Philly, for instance, has how it works is, beer stores are separate from liquor stores. First off,
Yep.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, liquor stores are technically government owned.
In a way, they're like
they are
sanctioned
their own.
through.
Yeah, they're government sanctioned. That's a better way of putting it. They are privately owned, but they are government sanctioned. And theirs are closed. So
Yes.
because the government was like, we need to protect our workers, was basically the mentality for it. And it's interesting because like certain areas, and like you would think Philly's just a bunch of rejects. As someone who's been to Philly a lot and has homies who live in Philly, Philly's not a nice place.
No, I used to live in Wilmington, Delaware, and Philly was just such like it was close enough.
It's not Jersey. It's not Jersey.
Well, yeah, no, but the problem
But
with
it's still
Philly
not
is like you have the same kind of gun violence, just not on as big of a scale as like Chicago or
Right.
Chirac, as some people like calling it.
As someone who's lived in Chicago, this is accurate.
But it does have the mass. It's currently going through like also an opium epidemic right now with heroin and whatnot. And like pre 2010, it wasn't too terrible of a place. Like it was still a terrible place, but it wasn't that bad as it is now. To like where I don't even going to like
worse.
if I go up there, I don't like want to go to Philly. Every time I used to go visit up there, it was like we have to go to Philly. We gotta go to like 3rd Ave, get Philly cheesesteaks.
Yep.
And possibly try to catch a Phillies game or Flyers game. Now I will rather stay at home and make my shitty, not real cheesesteaks with Cheese Whiz, and not get shot or stabbed or robbed.
Yeah, because that's as shitty as I think Philly is. There is one thing that I will never talk shit on in Philly, and fucking cheesesteaks, bro. And I'm not talking like even like the big joints that like everyone says you have to go to. Nah, find yourself some tiny little
Hole in the
Jewish
wall.
deli, little tiny hole in the wall Jewish deli. Get yourself a cheesesteak for like $8 to $10. You will be the happiest person on the planet
Oh yeah.
because it is lit. Holy fuck, cheesesteaks are amazing.
It's the same thing as like going into New York. Like yeah, go to these like famous delis and famous pizzerias, but the best pizza you'll ever have is like walking down, like if you're going down Main Street. I forgot exactly what street it was on, but walking down Main Street, I remember we got dropped off. We got dropped off at the World Trade Center Memorial and walked all the way we walked to the subway. We took the subway over to Times Square, walked around Times Square, stopped off at a couple big places like the Nintendo World there. We went and seen the tree and a couple other places, and then we were just walking back and we were like, oh man, we're hungry, and we just found this little, like it was, the shop looked no bigger than the door we walked in to,
Right.
and they had by far the best pizza I've ever eaten and probably will ever eat.
That's the thing though, too, because like I have a bunch of buddies who live in Philly. Just to touch back on my experience, I've only been to New York once. And like they took me to like all these, various joints that are like you have to try the cheesesteak here. It's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was staying at an Airbnb because we were doing work for this festival. And literally like a block and a half away, there was this like tiny little general store Jewish deli. Just fucking hole in the wall. They had, some essential goods and then cheesesteaks. And it was better than anything I had at those bigger joints and shit because
Mm-hmm.
it's like the same thing with like barbecue. So I went to Texas to bring Jimmy in on this. I went to Texas to have some barbecue down in like Lockhart. And like fuck, I can't remember the name of the joint. And it was really fucking good. But I went to some like small little fucking hole in the wall barbecue joint, and that shit just blow that shit out of the water.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Barbecue here is untouchable. Like North Carolina thinks that they have their shit together, but no, they don't.
Nah,
They
man.
put like
So like
vinegar and shit in there.
as someone who's traveled the entirety of this beautiful country, I've been to KC, St. Louis, Memphis, North Carolina, Texas for the barbecue, capitals of the world. In my opinion, the best barbecue I've ever had, and I'm talking on brisket, not on pork, brisket entirely. There's this little fucking joint in Illinois called a Fine Swine, and their brisket is second to none that I've ever had. And then there's a joint down in Texas in just south of Austin, just like 20-30 minutes, that has some insane fucking ribs. I can't remember the name of the joint, but it's
Salt
like
Lick.
that sounds right. I feel like that's right.
Yeah, it's like the
It's
main destination in Austin for barbecue.
yeah, but their pork was fucking insanely good.
Yeah, that's something I don't know, man. Like that's maybe it's just growing up in Texas. Like that shit's everywhere. I'm such a fan of barbecue, like compared to like almost any other
Well, the thing
genre
is
of
that
food.
you gotta know it's like nowhere else has that shit. It's like Philly and cheesesteaks. It's like sure you might go to Papa John's and get yourself their shitty fucking cheesesteak, but it's not the same. Or like for instance, living in Chicago and getting barbecue, it's not going to be the same. It's like your town, whatever they're really fucking good at, you just don't experience that anywhere else. Fucking Chicago and hot dogs. You won't get hot dogs that good outside of Chicago, in my opinion. Fucking New York pizza, Philly cheesesteak, Texas barbecue. You're so used to living in it, but you go like if you lived anywhere else, try to get like they'll because the thing is like they'll market it as the same thing, but it'll be fuck all different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just imagining someone from Philly that's really prideful of their city just getting fucking so pissed at us for just shitting on it for about like 15 minutes.
Bro,
No,
Philly people are crazy, but
no,
they
because like again, I got homies in Philly, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's pretty fucking accurate right now."
yeah.
It's like they have very good understanding of where they're at.
As long as you're
Uh,
not trying to shit on the Eagles or the Flyers, you don't get hit very
Yes,
often.
That's the thing. You don't talk about. You can shit on the city. Don't shit on the team.
Yeah.
That's when shit gets fucky.
The city of brotherly love will literally murder you because you're wearing a
Yes.
different team's jersey.
Yes.
The fuck
It's
out
like,
of here.
it's like you can talk about all the fucking shitty shit of Philly, but as soon as you talk shit on the Eagles, you're fucking dead, guy. You're fucking dead.
Yeah, no, it's great. I love it because I remember when the Super Bowl was coming through and the Eagles were, going to the Super Bowl. And
Right.
and they were like, don't wear any other team's jersey other than the Eagles if you're going to go to the game. And I'm like, oh boy, people are actually going to get hurt now.
Oh no, and that's the thing is like that's one thing about Philly, man. They are an impassioned people for their sports team. It is not lighthearted. Like again, coming from experience, having lived there for a minute and then have a lot of homies still there, it's not something that's like that it should be taken. It's like New York. New York's the same way. You just don't fuck with it. Do not fuck with it.
It's really funny because I have a person that I work with and she's from Boston.
Oh god, fucking Boston.
And it's so great because when the Eagles are going into the Super Bowl, I was like, "Hey, how do you think your boy's gonna do?" And she's like, "Fucking, there's no way that the Eagles will win." All this other bullshit. I'm like, "Hey, it's okay. It's okay because you know what? For the Eagles, we're just happy we're there. We don't even care if we win at this point. We're just happy we were invited." And then once we won, fucking it was pandemonium.
Fucking mint.
Speaking of Boston, did you guys see that movie that Netflix just put out with Mark Wahlberg and Post Malone?
Oh fucking!
No, but I did hear about it.
So I
Fucking
literally
awful.
started it and couldn't finish it because it was
Me
just like
either.
It's
because like
awful.
It was
well,
so it was so insulting. It was just like I was like watching this fucking moron try to. Okay, so the premise of the movie, fucking I'm not gonna spoil
Spoilers.
this. No, fuck you guys. It's not a spoiler. So the premise of the movie. So this guy, he's a cop, Mark Wahlberg. He gets put into jail because he works in the police department and his captain's covering some shit up. He goes to confront him at his house. He beat his wife that day and he's like drunk. So he beats the shit out of him, gets arrested for it because he can't do that to police. Okay, he gets out of jail. And he fucking discovers some same shit's going on, but instead of just like moving on with his life, he just keeps making bad decision after bad decision. And it's fucking exhausting. It's just like I don't know if you felt the same way, Suck, but I'm like, this guy's a moron every step of the way. And it's like everyone's agreeing with him. Everyone's like, you go get him, Mark. His name's not Mark in the
Yeah.
movie, but you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. I mean, like, my biggest thing with it is just like, so, like, for me, it's like the biggest issue I had with it, and it's actually slightly different what you're saying. So, it's like, for me, especially with all the bullshit going on, I like watching comedies. I like funny movies. I want to fucking have a nice, strong drink and have a laugh. This fucking movie was in the comedy section. It's not fucking funny. It's like
that's true. 100%.
The biggest issue
Yeah.
I had with it is that it's a fucking cop drama about some poor bitch who is I was a framed police officer and I was just trying to uphold the law, but I went after the police chief and it was really bad. And it's like there's nothing fucking funny. The only funny thing I saw in the first like 30 minutes was that fucking Post Malone shanked Mark Wahlberg. And that's it.
Yeah.
And
That's pretty funny though. That's pretty funny.
There's nothing else in the fucking movie.
That's the joke. You
No,
wasted your
100
time on a shitty movie, and Mark Wahlberg gets stabbed by fucking Post Malone. There's
It's
your
like
joke.
literally- and the worst part about it too, it's like that part wasn't even that funny. So to give context, Mark Wahlberg is in prison. It's his last day. He's about to get out, and fucking Post Malone is like some white supremacist gang member, and he comes up, he's like, "Don't you ever dare show your face in Boston ever again." And then they have like a little fucking gang fight, and then fucking after the gang fight gets split up, Mark Wahlberg looks down and he sees a shank in his like fucking liver, basically, and looks back to Post Malone and he's just like, "Gotcha." It's just like,
Jesus Christ, that's
it's
so
like,
dumb.
No, and
then,
it's
that's the only comedic piece of the entire movie. The rest of the movie is like this attempt to be dark and serious and brooding cop revenge story, basically.
And it's not even like he's being funny. It's either like him just like busting somebody's balls or like him just like saying what the fuck, like if like something weird's going on. Like that's like Mark
Bro, that's
Wahlberg
the
comedy.
best.
Like that's
Yeah, that's
it.
the best. That's the
It's
best.
it's just like come on. Like, I don't know. And like I don't know if he comes back later in the movie. He might, but to the point that I watched Post Malone was like a fucking 10-minute part. And I like his stuff. Like I went to his concert, great fucking musician, but like God, it was just like so bad.
Yeah,
That's
and it's
so
just like, yeah. So for any of y'all who are interested in watching whatever the fuck the name of that movie is on Netflix,
if you
that
see
apparently
a movie with
Don't.
Mark Wahlberg and fucking Post Malone, just
another
don't.
thing, on that fucking movie, the other thing that would intrigue me about it, apparent comedy, and I thought it was gonna be like some funny bullshit. No, it also was like number 10 most watched Netflix movie at the time, like 2 days
What?
ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
no, it
they've got like
100%.
they've got like the statistics now where it'll show you like this is the number 10 movie on Netflix right now.
Disgusting.
And it was that, and I was just like, oh, so not only is it a comedy,
It's number
it has
one.
it's number. Oh my!
I'm looking at my phone right
You
now.
are kidding me.
It's called Spencer Confidential. You're gonna see it. It's like the thumbnail for it. It hasn't changed for me. It's either gonna be Mark Wahlberg or Post Malone or the actor, some black dude with a shotgun. But like top 10, it's literally number one today. It's so bad. And they removed like Netflix. Remember how they used to have like the thumbs up, thumbs down system or the star
Oh,
system?
I remember. And then it all was good until Amy Schumer put up her comedy show.
Yeah. No, there's God. Oh my God. That's hilarious. You guys remember the movie 2012 where it's like everything was ending? That movie?
Yeah.
That's number 2 on Netflix right now.
What?
That's fucking funny.
What?
And then
Of
number
course it
4
is.
is like a movie called The Outbreak. And like
Of course.
and because everyone wants to kill themselves so bad, Angry Birds the movie 2 is number 8.
Well, no, you know why that is? Everyone's at home with their fucking kids right now, is what it is. It has nothing to do with them wanting to kill themselves. It's they got these children out here who are at home all fucking day, and they're like, "Mommy and Daddy, I want to watch the Angry Birds movie." That's what
You
they
would
get.
think oh, that's probably Disney Plus, right?
Frozen
is.
2
Frozen?
has
It
been
is.
fucking like number 1 on Disney.
It
Yeah,
is
no,
a
that
Disney
makes sense.
Plus, yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that shit would be on repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
it's
So
crazy.
you got some chitlin. I'm like, we don't have Disney
I
Plus.
don't know. I don't know if you guys realize
Birds.
if you guys have been watching Netflix pretty religiously or Disney Plus, but there's been actual queues to get onto Disney Plus and Netflix.
You're joking.
Dead ass serious.
Hold on.
What kind of bullshit is queues for that?
But like
That's-
not like it going into a game queue, but like you are waiting for at least a minute just to get like when you click on it, it'll take like a minute or two to actually pull up the
Are
screen.
you sure?
Oh, like the
I
traffic on it?
Yeah.
I just launched it and I literally just loaded
this
the
was
movie
this
in, like,
was
in a minute.
this
Signing
was
up, I think.
this was just what do you call it? This was at the beginning of like the whole hype of like quarantining.
Oh,
This is like day one quarantining. Everybody who started watching their shit.
Their servers just couldn't
handle the influx of everybody coming on at one time.
Who the fuck just
No, it's everything. I mean, shit, it's that video games. I know I launched an initiative in FaT,
Oh boy.
like literally to all this, and I stand by it. I mean, you know,
100%.
you people can say like you're. But anyways, I launched an initiative within FaT at like the staff level to get as much activity over the next 10 days. It was like 3 days ago from whenever we were recording this, and just purely boost activity, boost recruitment, and get all the staff that facilitate people into the Discord, like ambassadors, personnel, make sure that they're taken care of. So I mean, it's basically throwing a net over everything and say let's kick this shit off. But I mean, if you look at the Steam charts for any game, it's gone up like crazy. And CS:GO,
War Thunder's been crazy. Fucking CS:GO has been crazy. Even what you call it's been really big right now. Borderlands 3. People have been buying the shit out of Borderlands 3 and playing that.
Oh, boys, here you go. Speaking of which, some NSA guy was listening to us because I just got an advertisement for Post Malone.
Nice.
Yep.
That's
My,
wild,
my
dude.
my FBI guy was just like, "Oh, you talking about Post Malone? Yeah, some fucking Post Malone, my guy."
My FBI guy's a bitch.
God. I don't. Do you guys honestly? I have an Alexa, like an Amazon thing. I just unplugged it because I never used it. I thought I would use
Yeah.
it. I only used it for like alarms, but I just curse at it every morning. So I figured I might as well just use my phone.
I only had I have one. It's been unplugged sitting next to my desk for like the better part of 6 months. Because for me, it's like what I would use it for is it would tell me the news in the morning. But then I realized it purely, and I'm gonna speculate, it purely might have just been chance. But like I feel like I would talk about shit in Discord with my homies because it'd be sitting on my desk next to me, and it would just like I would just get fucking advertisements for what I was talking about. And again, I'm not gonna say that because I don't fucking know that this shit was like some conspiracy. I haven't had that be a problem since I unplugged it. It just doesn't happen as much, at least. Obviously, Post Malone just fucking popped up, so maybe wrong, but
He's the new Mr. Worldwide, bro.
Mr. Worldwide.
No, and
God.
I fully agree with that. I haven't my Alexa's in my daughter's room because she goes to bed listening to like lullabies and whatnot. But ever since I unplugged the one from my desk, I haven't been getting like targeted ads on specific things.
Yeah, because it's somewhere it's like I mean it's fairly well known that like Amazon builds a lot of its shit around selling you end user information to advertisers and other companies. That's like the thing with Facebook. It's a thing with YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. It's just like that's the modern day world we live in is personal data being sold for advertising, analysis, et cetera. It's just the way we live. And the thing is, like, for me, it's like I already have a very fucking high resolution microphone sitting in my fucking room that I talk into for the better part of 5 hours a day. I don't need more than that.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's some moments where an advertising like that's kind of insulting. Like you ever buy shit online and then it pops up in your advertisement even though you bought it?
Yeah, I
Like that
have
happens to
had
me
that
all the
happen.
time, especially clothing. Like it's just like you buy anything online, it's gonna be
Amazon's the
advertised to you.
worst one for that one.
Yeah, no, that's
I just like I feel
them,
like I don't buy
PacSun, a lot
clothing
of people.
online. Oh, you
Yeah.
would be a PacSun guy. That
There's some
makes sense.
sweet shit. There's like, okay, hear me
No,
out.
no,
Hear
no,
me
no,
out.
no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, 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 no,
shut
no,
the
no, no,
fuck up.
no.
Shut the
Jimmy's
fuck up.
a fucking
Shut the fuck
PacSun
up, you
guy.
fucking moron. No, on it because I like the website. I mean, there's some cool shit on there. Like there's either like Skater Boy, which is not me, or there's like Frat Douche, and there's like this really cool kind of sliver in between that
Now,
I kind of reside in,
now
where it's
let's
just like
not say that he
Okay,
didn't
hold
say he
on.
wasn't a frat douche. That's
I'm
all.
kind of one, but I don't dress like one.
Hold on.
You
I'm
know, when I'm
looking
not in a
right
frat.
now. And the first thing that I'm seeing, I've got fucking
Playboy.
bikinis, fucking beach shit, and I got Playboy. So
Ugh,
I don't know, guy. You're not really
good.
building a good case for yourself right now, my dude.
No, they have good swimsuits for dudes. Like, or
Just
I stand by that
I've
shit.
never understood like getting a nice swimsuit. It's like I go to Walmart and I get myself a pair of trunks, and that's it. Because like I'm
Well,
looking like so like for instance, I'm looking through like their shit right now. I'm like on the dudes' fucking shirts and shit. And like you got some fucking tie-dye shit, you got some pink shit, and then you got some shit where it just looks like they slapped a logo or a fucking JPEG onto a black or white shirt.
No,
yeah, that's like so it's like any clothing place in my opinion. You kind of have to filter out trash. Like on there, like the black and white. I know exactly what you're talking about. They have like that little fucking logo. It's like the basics. You know,
Nah, man,
it's stupid.
they got one. It's literally fucking Walter White, and it says "Say My Name." It's him in that scene, and it's literally like they just took a screenshot from the movie and pasted it onto a black shirt, and it's just like, you know how cheap that would be to just go because that's a $17.50 shirt to get an image from a movie just printed on there.
Like you can't analyze a whole fucking if anyone sells a large quantity of graphic tees, they are going to be trash. A majority of them. You have to dig through and
All
find
right.
what you like.
How about
You know what I'm
this?
talking about?
I'm going to analyze this based purely off of that one T-shirt, and I am correct, and you are wrong. That's
There we
how it's
go.
going to be.
I mean, it's good enough for government work.
Exactly. I don't even work for the government, so bada bing, bada boom. We got to
Know what I
talk.
think? Know what I think is the douchiest thing like in the world?
Nah.
Old Row Apparel.
Old what?
Old
What
Row.
the
Do you
fuck
guys know
is
what that
that?
is?
No, because
Oh god, you guys
we're
are too
not
old. You guys are
douches.
too old. Let's go.
I don't think I've ever heard of Old Row Apparel.
So Old Row is like they run a bunch of Twitter accounts, Instagram. It's like kind of. Do you remember like Vineyard Vines? How they would do their thing?
Yeah.
It kind of like that, but a little bit more college douchey. So it's like
oh
it's
my
a,
god.
yeah. No, look up Old Row. You'll see all their shit. It's like it's so bad. It's just like I see people wearing. It's like wearing a Barstool Sports T-shirt. Are you fucking kidding me? Have a personality.
Yeah,
Like you know.
these are fucking terrible. I'm seeing dad hats, Trump 2020 shit, Louisiana shit. What the fuck?
It's very southern based. I mean, regardless, if you're wearing like my opinion on political bumper stickers, clothing, I think you're like even if I agree or disagree, if you fucking wear political shit, you're a moron. Or like have a bumper sticker, you're trashy. Like I stand by that
Oh,
100%.
wait, hold on. You saying that I'm trash because I have a political bumper sticker on my car?
Yes, 100%. I think you just like lack good taste.
Wow, I lack good taste, everybody. This is how Jimmy really feels about me. This is why War Thunder doesn't have a true group in Fear and Terror anymore.
Oh Jesus, here we
God.
go.
Oh, it's to provide context for that joke. Suck used to direct a War Thunder division in FaT.
For everyone who joined within like the last year after I stopped doing shit. Hello.
Yeah, we probably should have introduced you, given you some background.
Suck, former director of.
So
War
basically,
Thunder?
how it works is like it's former director of War Thunder, former organizer of Space, a fucking Star Citizen, and then that's about it. Oh, and then former squad comp team player as well.
Yeah, I think
former
the
bitch.
majority of it. I think the majority of like the OG guys were. I think I'd say 90% of people that have been here over a year were in the comp team at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not
Not me. I've never.
Well, you participated.
No.
I mean, I'm sure you have. There's no way you haven't done a practice scrim or anything
never
like
participated, never scrimmed, never nothing. No comp. Period.
Damn, are you just bad or?
No, I just don't like comp. I don't like how comp is. It's just not for me. I'm a casual player.
No, it gets stressful as fuck. That's the reason I'm not on any comp teams. Like even Halo and shit, I play a lot. Like it's one, I can't play squad anymore, so that's out of the picture. But like, with like competitive games, like I can't attend every practice. I can't, like I'm competitive as fuck. If I'm not like the best person, it's not like I won't want to play, but like I'll want to play so much until I get to that point. Like I think whenever I started FaT, I played video games an unhealthy amount. Like I don't know if anyone remembers.
Squad leading like at least 4 or 5 hours a day.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy. It was honestly bad, but like it helped FaT a lot. It was like perfect. It was perfect for the time. It helped FaT grow super quickly. But yeah, no, it was crazy how much I used to play. And now, like even if my computer was fixed, if perfect world, I feel like I'd be ass hopping back into it. Even though I used to drop like 50 frags almost every game. But,
I mean, you were still ass then. Probably still just gonna be ass. So it's whatever.
Aha, got him.
But
just saying, Jimmy.
Yeah.
You were a good squad lead though.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to lead people. Now I just sit back and do it through Discord. Goddamn.
Jimmy sits in his own little private. Oh, for most people that don't know, Jimmy has his own private little like suite inside Discord that only him and the higher ups can see.
It's another channel that's always empty.
You know what pissed me off the most? I never got access to that, even as like a director. Like I knew it existed, I knew it was there, but I never ever saw it. And I was just like, "Wow, this is how it is to be one of the outsiders in this society."
No one can see it. I mean, I guess now Bios and Kilrim Kangs, they have the administrator tag.
Exactly.
Channel,
Exactly.
I mean, that wasn't a role that existed. It wasn't like we had like or if like there wasn't multiple clan directors.
I remember when Jimmy brought me to the dark room the first time.
God, dude, people talk about it. It's a voice channel with a bunch of lines in the name. Like it's literally nothing. It's a it's
it
it's
is a
God.
terrifying place. I wish no one ever has to go there. Never
God
upon my
damn, you guys are
enemies.
ridiculous. No, no, it's honestly though what we do use it for is like if ever like the conference room's full because like sometimes people have meetings and the timing just doesn't work up. Um, we just pull them up there and it's an extra voice channel. I know a lot of other game
Yeah.
directors have like their own little meeting room. It's
Oh yeah, I
cool.
mean,
I
like I
mean,
feel
it
like
works.
every director usually is gonna have like their own pseudo space. Like I know with me, whether it was with Star Citizen or War Thunder, there was dedicated admin areas that were just like purely like even for Star Citizen, we had an area that was just purely dedicated to just the 2 or 3 people that we had helping organize some shit. Just dump stuff that they need to dump inside of there or like come in and talk briefly about certain XYZs. So it's definitely, I
Yeah.
feel like every director has something akin to that. The one nice thing I will say, having stepped down from all of that, Fear and Terror is such a terrifyingly and large fucking server, and that's only based on what the average person can see. Trust me, to anyone who's listening to this who doesn't have any form of admin role, there's so much more. There's
There's
so
so
much
much
fucking more. And the thing is,
Okay.
like, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna count the cat. So let's count the amount of let's do some transparency here, even though it's like the most non-interesting shit in the world. So everyone knows. So there's channels, there's voice channels and chat channels, and there's categories. Categories, little expandable folders. You put voice channels, chat channels under. So we have information, staff contact, which everyone can see. In addition to main discussion, which is for like our main games, like chat channels that are like text, and then we have side discussion for our hobby and side games. Voice channels, which are obviously our voice channels, additional information. So that's what most people see, and that's already a good amount.
Yeah, like, and the thing is, like, inside of each one of those categories, you have like 3 to 20 different subcats inside of there, or sub channels, I should say, of whether they be voice or text.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, okay, so we also have general staff, squad. These are all individual categories with probably a dozen chat channels within. But it's like squad staff, squad server admin, squad comp team, Tarkov staff, Rainbow Six staff, Rainbow Six competitive, Halo staff, Halo competitive, Postscriptum staff, and then Purple Gang Hideaway, which is like the secret channel we were just talking about. We named it Purple Gang because it's stupid.
Fucking Purple Gang, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, and like it's honestly not that like I've gotten used to it. But
Right.
If my user
if you've been
experience,
around it, because like I know one thing I will say, kudos to Fear and Terror on this, and Jimmy and everyone else who's helped make this. For as big as Fear and Terror is, it is one of the best organized channels, servers that I've been to. It's always something whenever I'm helping lay foundations in other servers to like how to set it up, how to like subcat it and stuff like that, how to set perms. I always look to Fear and Terror for how I'm going to divvy up roles and separate what you can see, what you can't see, because it's such excuse me, an efficient and effective way of doing it.
so do now or
Yeah, but
no,
smoochy.
Jesus Christ. No, I mean honestly, it's been a balancing act full of a million changes, but I'm really happy where we're at with it. Like I don't know. I try not to jerk myself off too much about FAT because it gets really annoying after a while. But
Are you sure you don't?
Just sit back and look at all these active voice channels, dude. Who can't? But no, and like our staff teams are huge. Like I think that's the one thing like, in terms of organization. It's not that bad, in terms of like, in one Discord you can only be so good at organizing a staff team or even a gaming community in general. Like there's, it's not perfect. It's not like a custom program for whatever. The UI is not going to be relatively clean, but I think we do it pretty well.
Yeah,
and
like,
it's
and based on like the tools that y'all have had in your guys' possessions to make it as good as y'all have made it, that's definitely the surprising thing.
Oh yeah, fucking the programming team coming in. Like, we couldn't do a lot of the stuff we do without the programming team. Feedback from just users about how we should do things. I mean, there's always going to be like the one thing I get a lot, and I really hate that I get it, but it's the most common request is the in terms of like changing our Discord, is making each game division like its own category. So chat channel and voice channel in one category.
The thing is, like, it, as someone who I remember that from, like, because that's something I remember being requested back whenever I was a War Thunder director, even, and that's
Once a
something
month.
that's like, it's like it's just not an effective measure because that's when you get into too much separation, too many categories. Because the nice thing about Fear and Terror is you guys nicely tread the waters of hyper organization and kind of free float in a sense. And the thing is, like, going into that many subcats, because I remember we even had a discussion about it with making a I remember I had guys who were asking about making a separate War Thunder Discord that was just going to be a Fear and Terror subcat Discord, basically. And that was like, it's just like, that's too much. That's too much.
I mean, we have it though. I mean, we do some of that. Like, you know, with the voice channels, they're all going to be in the same place. We're not going to move a division outside of FAT. Then
Right.
you know, I'd rather not have a division than have one that's outside of FAT. But we do have like an extra Discord for the marketing team, modding team, programming team.
But I mean, like, it's when it's
like
necessary. It's when it's something that's so completely off branch, basically. I mean, for instance, right now we're in a separate Discord, and it makes sense because it's something that needs to be very limited.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could do, we have done the podcast in the FAT Discord. We just renamed the conference room. But I mean, the only advantage to that is like we get a higher bit rate because we have like a comical amount of server boosts.
Yeah,
but,
right.
I mean, so, which I love that, dude. We have more server.
How many server boosts are you guys at right now?
Oh, we had 69. I think it may have changed.
Here, I'm looking.
66. Right now. Oh, that's going down. But yeah, no, like the maximum rank you can get, or like the highest threshold you need to meet to unlock everything is 30. So we just doubled that. So
that, I remember whenever server boost came on and grinding out to get level 1, level 2, and level 3, because that was like that took time.
That took like, I mean, honestly, that took like a week, bro. Like we made it. Like we really? Like I heavily emphasized it.
I feel like we didn't hit level 3 for like a month or two.
It took from level 1 to level 2 was like a week.
Yeah,
but after
level
that,
1 to level 2 was nothing.
It did take, because I think level 3 was 650. Did it have 50 of them?
30.
Was it? No. It was. It changed. They changed it. They reduced it down. It was, I think, 50 you needed. Or 40.
Yeah, no, that does sound right, because it's something where it's like, I remember it being something where like it took a minute of, because I remember seeing steady pushes of ats being like, hey, if you guys, it's not something that we're requiring, but it'd be really awesome if you could give us this, basically. Because I remember seeing that a decent amount.
Yeah, that was like a big thing. And I mean, and what's funny about that is like as soon as we reached that threshold, like we were one of the first, like at least the first squad group, one of the first like communities that wasn't a boost meme Discord, that like where we actually reached that point. And once you reach the highest threshold, let's say it's 50, could be 60, I don't know what the exact number was. But we got the name FAT, so discord.gg, the vanity URL, discord.gg/FAT, FAT. Which was super cool, and then they immediately dropped that shit down, like so much more.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which I'm actually glad we got there, like, because it could have been someone could have taken FAT, and we would have been like, you know, discord.gg/FATclan or something.
I mean, that's the beautiful thing about having, you know, some 5,000 plus people just in the Discord. I mean, I'm not talking members, because I know it's different for members, but like having like y'all have about 5+, isn't it?
Yeah, about that much, which most likely the model is going to change heavily here in most likely. We're thinking about doing it Q4 or Q1 of 2020. So Q4 of 2020 or Q1 of 2021. And what we're actually going to be doing is going to be a very big UI change, but it's going to be kind of necessary. So right now, when
TeamSpeak.
we're going to be switching to Skype. We're just going to have one big Skype call.
Christ, dude.
No.
briefly before you go on, like that's one thing. Just talking after FaT, but talking about Discord as a platform. Holy fuck! Thank God for Discord, dude.
Oh my god, yeah, I can't. Yeah, I used to have a TeamSpeak. I ran a group that was through TeamSpeak. Fuck that. That was
I mean,
that
the
was
thing is, like,
awful.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
okay.
help run, like, even now, because like I work in the music industry, like I help run agencies, booking like labels and shit like that through Discords now, because it's just like it makes more sense because everyone used to do it through like Facebook groups or Facebook Messenger, and it was shitty. And like
Yeah,
I help people like set up shit to where it's all going through Discord now. Like I have producers in agency Discords now and shit like that. And like we wouldn't be able to do it anywhere else to the complexity that we're able to do through Discord.
oh yeah. I mean, shit. Well, what else would you use? You'd have like TeamSpeak and like website forums.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
really
like
how
the
that's how clans work.
best options right now. I mean, yeah, you have, yeah, it's TeamSpeak, Messenger calls, whatever in-game VoIP is available, and then Discord, and that's it.
Yeah. No, that was a dark time. But
Hmm.
no, yeah. So
I've
thank
never.
God. I mean,
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say because otherwise the organization we couldn't be where we're at today. There's no way without Discord. Like it timed perfectly too. It was like right as Discord was
Oh yeah.
already mainstream and it kind of like
Right.
already blown up. So it wasn't like we didn't have to deal with people that were like TeamSpeak fanboys trying to join. Now everyone's on Discord, which is a bet. So,
No, it's
but
crazy because with you guys talking about TeamSpeak and whatnot, me and Jimmy were just talking about it. What, 2 days ago, 3 days ago,
Mhm.
about when I started out in like a gaming community. It was on Xbox. It was in KSI, and we used Kick. And
Oh,
oh
Whoa,
yeah, we used
yeah,
Kick
bro.
back in the day.
Back in the
Um,
day, man. Because I know for me, it's like my first thing was it was a World of Tanks gaming community. Was my very first one, and it was on TeamSpeak, is what it was. And we ran everything through TeamSpeak, and then everything else in terms of text-based shit was ran through the in-game World of Tanks clan options, basically.
okay.
And
oh, God,
it was dookie.
Yeah, no.
got it.
Kick is the worst. Anytime we had a new person come in, we were talking about our ambassadors and whatnot and FaT, and me coming back to personnel and whatnot.
Mm.
Uh, and when back then, when we had somebody that was a new recruit, the person that found them was also the person that recruited them, was the person that logged them into the Kick, and then it was the job of the rank in there was the general, the leader of the squad. It was their job to then take that information from that person and then write it down on pen and piece of paper, each individual new recruit, when they got recruited, their information, everything.
Uh-huh.
And then if they got a promotion, they had to go and put them on the promotions page, what they got promoted to, and record the date and everything. Like everything was done on pen and piece of paper through the Kick app on Xbox. Like it was crazy. This is back
That's
in when
fucking insane.
everybody was still playing Halo Reach, Halo ODST, and Halo 3 were the big things that people were still playing.
That's insane. Yeah, because I know it's like, yeah, TeamSpeak were the big things whenever I was getting started, because it was like World of Tanks, fucking Minecraft, fucking what was, there's like a military game we used to play. Oh, fucking of course, Battlefield 3,
Oh yeah.
all through TeamSpeak.
Mhm.
And then now it's like the capabilities that you have through Discord is just so fucking insane to me, because it's just like I said, at least from in my personal use case, it's like I've got agencies being routed through Discord. I've got record labels routed through Discord. I've got, Star Citizen, Fear and Terror. You've got fucking games companies themselves routing through Discords, like Destiny 2 or GTFO have their own Discords for like LFG and stuff like that. Um And it's just something that's insane to me that like you just didn't have this kind of a social
Yeah,
media
no,
before. It just didn't
there was
exist.
no medium between in game and out of game.
Yeah. Because the thing is like before is like it was always just like the only options you had were like it was just VoIPs is what it
Yeah.
was. Like, um shit like I mean that's what TeamSpeak was. TeamSpeak was just purely a VoIP. And now with Discord with the ability of text channels, ranks, bots, voice channels, announcements, ads, etc. It's just like it is its own insanely good social media platform.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, hell, we have even teachers within my school district that they use Discord for their classes.
I mean, because it just like it makes sense because like it's something that there's no other social media platform that has this level of capability.
Yeah, or
I mean,
Nothing
organization.
else.
technically Slack. I mean, Discord is basically Slack but free and for gamers. But I mean,
Well, sure,
but
but I'm
you
talking like,
can even
and that's
have
what I'm
for
talking about. Is like it
paywall.
is like when did Slack come out though?
No fucking clue.
Because the thing is like I feel like Discord came before Slack. Hold on.
I
didn't
don't know.
even about Slack.
I would say Slack came before. I mean, they draw so many similarities. Well, regardless, whoever came first, either it's like chicken or egg. I mean, you both are gonna have like draw
It's 2
mass
years.
inspiration.
They were 2 years.
2 years. So Slack was
Yeah.
first, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Slack was 2013. Discord's initial release was 2015. Preview release was 2018, and then stable release was 2019. Wow, 2019 for the stable release? That's insane.
Yeah, the whole thing. Discord before 2019 was just a beta.
Dang, I didn't even realize that.
Wow, that's
I
insane because
thought,
like that's like super short lived, honestly.
yeah, but it's everywhere now.
And it's
It's just
crazy
blown
because
up.
it was such a it was so it's so quote unquote new,
But like it's
but it
so
feels like it's been there forever.
well, it's such a cornerstone now. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
such a cornerstone now. I mean, like again, it's like to touch back on my experiences. Like I run so much shit through Discord now.
Yeah.
I use Discord more than I use Facebook, than I use my email, just as like on like a work basis,
Yeah.
like purely on a work basis. And it's just like you look at any fucking online based community, they have a Discord. Every single one has a Discord,
Mm-hmm.
It's
No,
it's it's definitely crazy.
it's perfect. I mean, the model we have is cool, but like we're gonna be like I mentioned earlier, I just don't want to forget about saying it, is we're gonna be changing a lot. So base shit that members will see, you're not gonna notice a single difference, except we're gonna be changing kind of the user interface of whenever someone joins. So what the plan is with it, you may have seen it with like some discords that make you react to something to get like once you read the rules or kind of like an introductory thing to make sure bots can't get through.
Right.
But how we're gonna do it is we're gonna have a channel that whenever people join, they can only see one channel, and it's gonna give them basically a list of a couple different ranks. This isn't ironed out or whatever, but this is kind of the rough plan around it.
Oh, kind of
And
like Destiny 2 has a very, very similar setup for how theirs works, where basically you get to see one Discord and then you react a rank to
yeah,
gain access.
yeah, and it's going to be like basically everyone off the bat will be able to see our voice channels, but they can't join. And then once they get either like the I don't even know what the names are, so I'm just spitballing here. It's most likely going to change to be something better. But let's say they get the guest role, or like I'm from another clan role, whatever that name's going to be, or like I'm a clan representative. They'll actually automatically get that role once they react to it, and then that way they'll be able to join. And also at the same time, it's less we don't have to deal with, because it was a problem I think like 2 or 3 months ago, where we had a ton of bots entering the Discord, and it was just like a huge thing because our Discord's everywhere. We're on almost every single website where Discord can have one, and we're on every single recruiting page for our main games like once a day. Because we have to hit all those avenues as hard as possible. And with it was a huge issue. I think Discord really kind of tightened up around the bots, but in terms of
I remember back in the fucking day, that was like a huge issue. Is we would get spam bots almost like every 6 hours. I almost feel like we would get like a new spam bot in the Discord, trying to fucking just spam whatever the fuck it was pushing.
Oh yeah, and it's always like some sketchy Discord you don't want to join, or like,
Right.
you know, I still get random friend requests from bot accounts. I don't know why, but
Really?
yeah, I get it.
It's just me.
Oh, okay. I haven't gotten I don't think I've gotten anything in a very long time.
So for me, it's
I haven't got any bot friend requests, but in the same time, I'm not a figurehead anymore. It's like it used to be a thing back whenever I was running War Thunder. I would get like occasional like Russian shit trying to link up with me. But not anymore. Not for the last year.
yeah, I get like, it's not like Steam, because like everyone gets the Steam ones where it's I'm Tiffany with a heart where the eye is, you know, and it's
Oh
like some pink
no.
gamer girl pic, which is disgusting. But with like Discord, it's always like it's the Discord avatar where they don't have a picture, so it's the like logo or the little controller thing, and it's a bunch of numbers. And
Okay, yeah.
I share no Discord ties with them or anything. I've either profiled on any shared Discords. It's like, all right, whatever, just decline. And it happens like once a month. It's not even enough to get like mad about, but it still happens.
I know with Steam, I get that. I get Chinese and Russian bots because even though I don't play War Thunder anymore, I still get a bunch of people trying to hack it. Like literally almost once a week, I will get an email saying, "Hey, verify this attempted login." And it's from Russia. Because the issue is like in at least with War Thunders, once you have even a handful of good premium vehicles, you're a target for these
That's
people.
wild.
Yeah, so I know for me, because it's like whenever I was playing, like I dumped some pretty good money into War Thunder whenever I was playing competitively, because it was just like it made sense for the grind. Like I still to this day about once a week I get an email saying, you know, you have a password reset from this location, ignore this if this wasn't you. And it's just like, thank God. Yeah, folks, if y'all haven't yet, set up two-step authentication
Oh
on
my god,
literally
if you do
everything.
not,
100%.
you are
On everything, not just the important things. No, everything should have
and make
two-step.
sure your passwords are different.
Yes, literally, it's like
God.
Just make them a
it's
little different. Add numbers and shit at the end of
Yeah,
it if you have to. It's
like
literally anything.
just change the symbol or
instead
change the
of
numbers.
instead
It's
of
like
like fucking I don't know Harley 3, change it to like Harley 5, and
okay,
then
got it,
Harley 8.
So
Sergeant
add an
Autistic
underscore.
Spoon.
Yeah, you gotta class it up and add an underscore, like a
Yeah, it's something where
question
it's
mark
like
or something.
the thing is like because it's not going to get better. It's going to continually get worse. Where these AI and these bots, or even just these people, are getting smarter and smarter and smarter of how to breach these accounts, whatever it may be. And because the internet is still really in its infancy, you know, it's only been out for what, 30-40 years now, 30
Mhm.
years. So it's something where it's like, you know, sure, in our lifetime we've had it forever, but like how we use the internet is still not nearly to the level that we could be using it at. And people's ability and people's intelligence and understanding with how these systems work and how to attempt to bypass them is only going to get better. So it's like, be smart, set up two-step, get good passwords.
Mhm.
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's a reason I'm going into cybersecurity, like as an
Yeah.
industry, like for work. I mean, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah. And it's
people,
something where it's like
yeah,
it, even if it's something as simple, like I know, like for instance, like with my grandparents, it's or like other people I've worked with, it's something where it's like write down, like it's like write down the password somewhere. You know, it's like if you can't remember 50 different passwords for different things, write it down somewhere. Have it written somewhere where no one else has access to it, and it's like in your house or something like that. Because I mean, sure, if someone physically breaches your home, you're fucked. But likelihood of that happening is fucking low. You know.
Most definitely. While we're here and whatnot, Shifty has joined us.
Hey, what's up, Shifty?
The last little bit of the podcast.
he's the
He
cherry
asked
on top.
he asked if he could join, and I said, yeah, come on. We were right before we got in on what Suck was talking about. We were talking about leaders and the different things and like the aspects of when like being a leader inside FaT and all the different channels and whatnot. And what do you call it? I figured Shifty would be a perfect person to come into as being a manager, because you have me and Suck as admins, Jimmy as being the all-seeing eye, the long arm of the law, or whatever you want to call him, the uwu daddy of
The
FAT.
community leader.
The uwu daddy of FAT.
Ooh, daddy.
Whoa.
Hey, Shifty, you want to lead this clan?
What?
Ooh, daddy.
Oh man. Well, first of all, glad to be here. Secondly, about being a leader in FaT, it's actually kind of very much the same as it would be in real life. As a leader, as a role model in a lot of aspects. We have a lot of games here where being a leader, it takes a heavy mental toll, and you actually have to put the boots on and lead a lot of people. Squad, Postscriptum, Tarkov, you name it, Siege, other games. Like, these games take leaders to play them, and leaders are very much experienced in communication. They're very much experienced in working under pressure, and those are the people you got to stick to. And
Yeah.
that's what solidifies a good uprising.
It's something for me. It's like I've definitely used my experience with Discord leadership in real life, like workforce and stuff like that. It's like I've explained how I've done PR, HR, person management, etc. for very, basically what I usually say is like, I've done this for very large, online communities where I'm overseeing a staff, I'm dealing with HR PR issues, I'm doing general people management, assigning roles based on skill, et cetera, et cetera. Because like we're literally doing management most of the time. Like whenever I was doing War Thunder director, it's like you have to literally be a non-paid manager basically for a group of people.
Oh, 100%. And you can't put, what the biggest shitty part about this is like FAT's accomplished a lot. And if like, I get Discord, a lot of people that would hire me as an applicant to join their company or whatever corporation, they don't see it as that. So I can't put FAT on my resume. I'll tell them about it and they might be mad impressed if they get it. But,
it's not something I put on my resume. It is something I will mention in interviews though.
Yeah, that's what I do.
I feel like eventually this will like I feel like 10 years down the road, whenever Discord's even more mainstream, like being able to say that you did this will hold weight. But as of right now, it's definitely something I don't mention in resume. It's something I mention whenever I'm sitting down like across from someone where I can really articulate what it was I did, so that they're not just like, oh, you managed a forum or something like that.
And that's the whole thing. That is, now that we were talking about how popular Discord's been getting and whatnot. The more and more popular it gets, like we have teachers using it with kids, especially right now with the everybody being out of school. Like Discord has been a really good a lifeline for the kids to the teachers and the kids to the parents to the teachers also. Because it's an area where you can have parents and teachers all being in the same Discord, and the parents can see what the kids are doing inside the Discords, and there could be a locked area for just parents.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And the more and more that it gets used for not just gaming applications, the more it's actually going to have weight outside of gaming.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I think it faces a challenging for their marketing department because they've always been like everyone kind of memes on them in the way that they launch announcements. They kind of go, sometimes they do a little bit like too much raw XD in their shit, where they try too hard to be cool. And but I think in turn, like I was helping Mako, the Rainbow Six director, like for his job, he was setting up a bunch of conference rooms, and I was helping him organize that. I mean, the applications for it go way beyond, bless you, way beyond gaming. But I hope they don't start changing the focus, because because if, I don't know, man, like I think it's kind of like comedy in a way.
Yeah.
Like I think if you cater to everyone, it no longer becomes good. Like Kevin Hart, in my opinion. I'm not trying to like divide anyone. If you're a Kevin Hart fan, if you like him, that's great. But I think as he's gotten probably to be the most mainstream face in comedy, I think that he stopped being funny because he's trying to cater to everybody. I think.
Crowd.
Yeah, and the same thing with Discord. If they kind of stay in their lane, they keep doing it, I see no problems. But I could see potential issues rising up if they start deprioritizing, like gaming communities and shit.
Yeah,
Versus
because it's something where it's like the beautiful thing about Discord right now is the fact that just with the tools that we have available to us in the system already, it's good enough. It's
Yeah.
like generally speaking, as long as you know you're semi-intelligent about how to set up roles, ranks, permissions for rooms, etc., you can honestly apply a Discord server to just about any application that it would fit with.
yeah, like would you guys see any room for? I mean, other than like little quality of life shit, but in terms of like major structure, do you guys see any room for improvement or anything you would want outside of Discord that'd make you turn away from it?
Not personally. Like for me, it's as you said, it's like quality of life things, little things to make little bits and pieces easier. No, that would be nice, just because I generally feel like as though that's just a good idea. But like in terms of overall massive features, I mean, generally speaking, it's like you have enough control as an admin to separate and limit what you need, and then also add and keep what you need.
Mm.
Because the nice thing is like between bots and just understanding of how Discord works, there isn't a lot more that, at least in my applications, that I've never felt I needed to do.
Right. And I feel like anything that ever came up that was new or that was different, or any challenge that's actually come up that I would look at myself and say, oh, that's gonna be hard to get past. It's just like it's worked through. There's people to sit down and strategize with. There's never a shortage of
Right.
people to sit down and work with. And
Because that's the thing is
a
like
nice thing.
it's something where it's like we have so many tools available to us that, again, just if as long as you have people who are knowledgeable in the ins and outs of how Discord works, because there are things that are complicated to get set up properly in terms of permissions, viewing, not viewing, etc., and just general macro organization that are difficult to get proper. But like for the most part, it's like it's not, once you know how to do shit, it's like Discord just is really such an open field of work.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
flexible.
It kind of
One
reminds me of like an open source kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah,
Like
I
one
think
Discord will be completely different looking from
Yeah.
another.
Because again,
Yeah.
it's like it's like I said, I mean, in my applications, I've used it for live streaming through Twitch. I've done it for interviews, podcasts. I've done it for agencies, record labels, businesses. I've done it for gaming communities of various purposes, basically. And it's just like it's something where, as long as you know how to set up a Discord, in a manner to reflect what kind of use case you're gonna be using it for, it's so versatile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And friendly, very friendly to use.
Very friendly. Again, it's like there are certain things that, like, especially with my experience in FAT of like how to set up, a Discord for a couple thousand plus people and what that looks like. That's one thing is again, it's like I mentioned earlier, it's like I pull a lot of my application for perms, etc., from the use case of FAT and how basically shit is set up here, because it's just like it makes sense how shit is organized.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do
most
think
definitely.
I do think Discord has a little bit of room for improvement. I think the way and they've made changes to help, but I think there's a couple things I don't like with Discord, probably because I use it so much. I mean, overall great platform, but there's still things I would change. The obvious ones being like, and they changed it with this new system, the boosting system. I always thought that was a system that was really, really shitty because with Discord, kind of the way they used to market themselves until they kind of started being more community friendly it was for game developers and like following streamers and shit like
Right.
that, where it's where those were the people that got verified, and even if you have people in your channels all the time and you clearly like have a ton of activity, they wouldn't support you. So I think that the boost system is great, but they need to do more with it.
Mhm.
It'd be nice if there was another way to get the same features of the boost. Because like I understand where Discord's coming from in the sense of like the boost system is like you're monetarily getting these extra features is basically what it is. Maybe not you directly, like Jimmy going out of his way to go get it. It's just something that his community is monetarily giving Discord to get these features. It'd be nice if there was a way to just get the features, like pay for like a Discord Pro basically, and you get X number of Discords that can have these features or something like that. Because I know like for my use case applications with like agencies and stuff like that, where you only have 15 to 30 people, I wouldn't expect everybody to boost the channel because it just doesn't make sense. And it'd be nice to still gain some of the features that you get from boosting it.
Yeah, I mean,
Like the bitrate by itself. Like
the two big things would be the vanity tag and the bitrate would be the two biggest things.
I think what they need to do is, because they're a platform. I don't know why they haven't done this, but they tried doing the Discord store and that flopped because everyone has Steam and no one's gonna switch. And then they tried, making the homepage invigorating, but no one uses that shit. At least I don't personally. I'm on here all the time.
The only thing I've ever used the homepage for is like there's a couple of green light games that are purely ran through Discord and nothing else.
The only home screen update I've liked recently was Steam.
Yeah, and even then, that's where all your shits is. Like, I don't know why Discord as a platform doesn't kind of create a community for each game. Like, let's use Squad as an example. So if you click on the Squad thing, it should be like, because it's an official game and because, those Discords for games get verified, they should get a page where instead of a Discord, obviously have the same amount of channels and all that shit. You hop into the Squad Discord, but you can see the Squad community Discords moderated by the Squad moderators, like the people that moderate their own Discords. They should have their own page promoting communities within or relevant topics or other shit like that. I know that would be a gigantic hit, and it would be something that would promote activity within the platform a lot more. And it would also give the devs a lot more control in terms of, which communities are being seen.
Discord needs to do some, if any, sort of partnership with Reddit, because that will get so much traction. People will be jumping in voice channels to discuss topics. People, it'll fire things up if people realize that they can actually get in there and talk to people and be like, who's drunk right now and stuff like that. Who's having a good time?
Coronavirus was an inside job.
Yeah, like everybody gets to sit there and go crazy. So like I don't know, it's pretty cool. I like it because there's 100 different Discord channels, but I don't think there's a single page where you can scroll through all different ones, and like there's no menu for different categories that you can scroll through or different games. Like you can search up Twitch and find different streamers. If I was to put in Escape from Tarkov, could I find Fear and Terror because they put Escape from Tarkov as a tag kind of thing?
That would definitely be a nice feature, is the ability for discovery, more
100%
discovery, because that is the biggest issue. Is basically right now it's like if I want to find a Squad Discord, I go to Google, look up Squad Discords, and just go through the search results.
Exactly.
The first ones you're gonna find is like SQD. Us. You might find Bella's. You might find
right, and it's gonna be the hyper big shit, and it would just be nice to have a function where basically based on like server tags, you could do an intuitive search on Discord on platform for other Discords that share those tags. I think the thing is, like, it as an admin for those things, like for instance for like my agencies and stuff like that, where I don't want randoms jumping in, that just comes onto the admin to make sure that if you have a very private Discord, you either have some way to unlist it, or you have a way to ensure, like how Jimmy had said, where it's like, hey, if you're whenever you join the server, you get one page and that's it, and you can't view anything else. So just good server permission set up, basically.
Yeah, I mean, it's that. I mean, discovery is huge, and if you look at any good idea in terms of like what people should implement when it comes to UI or just a feature, I mean, there's like I probably know more about looking up Discords than like the average Discord user because we're constantly recruiting and finding new avenues. But there are dozens of websites that do this, and all of them, like, you have to create an account. It's really stupid, and no one cares. It's a third party, and unless you fucking click a button to boost your page, then it's not going to show up. And I think they should take the boosting because they need to make money. Discord has been like, everything's free on here pretty much, unless like you want some like little quality of life shit.
It's just it's end user information is the main revenue source.
Yeah, I mean, we have so many boosts. Use the boost system; they'll make more money if you have to have X amount of boost to feature on whatever official games, and that might be like 50 or something.
And that makes sense. It's like if you have, because in the same respect, if you are a boosted server, you obviously have to be a popular server to some respect. You know, you're not just going to have some server that has 500 boosts or something like that, except for like that. At least need to have 500 people who care enough about your server to boost it. And so that's the thing, is like the boost system is also in and of itself a really great litmus test for why you should be towards the top of a page or something like that.
I also think there should be different levels of the boost. You should have like a 5, a 10, a 15, a 25, or like a 5, a 15, a 25 package that you can actually boost the server with. I think that should be an option.
We have the boost of level 1, 2, and 3, but I honestly feel like eventually, because I don't know like how Discord servers work and whatnot, and how strenuous a lot of the stuff that the servers that, you know, the high bit rates and whatnot, if they can get to a level 4, level 5, you know, and figure out what extra you could get for level 4s and 5 other than bigger bit rate, bigger download on pictures and videos.
Right.
Maybe you know, with that you get like I don't know, a header in their like homepage. You get, here's the biggest boosting servers of Discord.
Well, I think they would have to do that via category.
Yeah, but then it would also become a competition, and I don't know if they'd really want to make it a competition, but more like just a highlight.
They want to make it. I mean, from a business standpoint, they should make it a kind of a competition. You know, it shouldn't be like if you don't have, you're not going to get traffic.
Like if you want to be the biggest squad server by tag in this, you know, again, user-friendly search function, it's like, and you're going off of boost, it's like, that is a competition. It's like, you should be able to be like, yeah, no, we have over X boosts and we're a squad Discord.
Yep.
We're obviously this popular. And like,
absolutely.
And then again, because like it'll show you, it's like if you are just like, if you just have a squad Discord and it's you and a bunch of buddies who just, you know, butt fuck around and play squad, which is fine. It's like, you obviously won't be shown as highly as something that's as organized or intensive as something like FaT.
All right. We are at 1 hour and 52 minutes, guys.
52?
Can I just ask where this podcast came from?
Minutes. It came from me and Jimmy wanting to do a podcast together because it would be funny.
Okay, fair enough.
And we bounce, me, Jimmy, and Suck, we always bounce off each other very fluidly.
Yeah.
And it worked out that way, and once Jimmy confirmed that there was going to be a podcast channel and we're going to start doing podcasts, the first thing I asked him was, can we get on a podcast together?
Yeah.
Because a lot of the discussions me and Jimmy have are only private discussions. And we have a great time doing it. We'll talk for, 30 minutes when Jimmy's like studying or something.
This is actually prime time to keep Jimmy up. He'll probably be up to 4 a.m.
Yeah.
I only know that by one experience only, but
bro,
now starts this, and that was crazy.
We have great times and in our private chats and whatnot, and we're like, it'd be really good for other people to not just see Jimmy as the leader of FaT, and answer like questions, like serious questions, but to just be here and be like himself.
Just be Jimmy.
Yeah.
A goofball. Nah, I mean, I get it, because like I have to like leading all this shit, like I have to fire people and shit.
People see
and like
I play. Really are. You're
no, dude. I'm a dude that plays
because it's so accurate, dude. It's like you become a different person whenever you get that manager plus tag. It's like
You have to.
you have to
You have
incorporate
to. It's
you
a
have to
problem.
incorporate a different mentality when
Yeah.
interacting with people, because like that's so funny, because like I became director 4 months after I got started here at FaT, if I'm not mistaken. And it was just like, you go from this mentality of like, I'm booling with the boys and we're just on this channel because we're booling out, to, all right, gentlemen, what have you done productive today?
And also, like I say this a lot, especially whenever we have to deal with internal issues. Like, I get treated like I'm a hot girl. You know, like a lot of people, like people treat you straight up different. I know, Suck, you can probably test this whenever you're like, people just act way more serious around you and they get nervous and shit. If I ever want to talk to someone, I like having voice conversations. So it doesn't mean you're in trouble. Like most of the time, it's like you're doing something good. Or just like
I always had to set the precedent of like, whenever I was like, especially like during comp and stuff like that, of like, yes, we're being serious, but like keep making this a game. It's like we had to be serious in comp, but it's still fun. Like, we're still here to have fun. We're still here to have a good time. And that was always a precedent I had to set with them, was like, even though I'm like playing with you guys as the director, it's like, we still need to be having a good time. We still need to be enjoying ourselves, because it's not something where we just like, all right, gentlemen, we got to go in, we got to go hard, we got to beat these pole fuckers, you son of bitches. And like,
if we don't beat them, there's gonna be repercussions.
Exactly.
And
And
that's
it's
the
like,
whole thing.
You go in and you have fun. That's a part of being a leader. That's the whole thing. When I sit here and I look at leaders and I see my commanding officer, my leader, whoever, come down and start playing sports with us or getting involved with us. The very first time we got a new commanding officer switched into our regiment, the very first day he took the lowest ranked and came out and was doing the lowest jobs, and people were mistaking him for a complete stranger. No idea about the guy. Earned everybody's respect right off the bat. Those are leadership capabilities. When you go in first and you come out last, that's exactly how it has to be. That's the mentality.
Yeah, and that was like, and go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that was a big reason why we wanted to do the podcasting. I mean, it's a sweet idea all around. It's not about me, regardless, but it's also a cool opportunity because there's so many people in this community. I'm not going to be able to talk to everybody or get to know everyone. I mean, I will in certain like games,
become
but
irrelevant pretty quickly.
Yeah, straight up, Sp0on says that like every time we talk, because like I used to know everybody. I used to literally do every staff position. Like whenever
it used to not be directors. It used to just be Jimmy.
Just Jimmy. The role was actually called Jimmy.
And it's hilarious because it's just like, it's the beautiful thing is to look back at whenever I joined this server back, because like when I joined right during the banana fiasco. That was right when I started. And to see where we were then to today is just insane. Even though I like, obviously a lot of people who are going to listen to this don't know who the fuck I am. It's like, just being an outsider and looking at what FaT is doing and seeing like what's changing is always so awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially that there's a thing we were joking about, like me and my girlfriend. I was like, it's like if fear and terror was like a legitimate thing, like what would it be? And like I was like, we were joking what we'd put on a resume, like you guys were saying earlier. And I was like, just write down director of finance, Fear and Terror LLC. And she's like, seriously? I'm like, not actually, but like that could be a thing one day, because it definitely could be.
It really could.
That's what it's. I mean, because we're never gonna. I mean, FaT, we're never gonna market it, and we're never. I know what this group is. It's not a place for me to make money, nor is it a business. But I really I'm like, my life plan. Like, I'm starting a business after I work a couple years in the industry where I'm going. So I mean, I love the shit, So
well, if you started here, you got a good start.
So
I guess so.
So we're gonna try to end this within 2 minutes. Cut it off right at 2 hours. You guys, we did it. We had a successful podcast.
Good job, guys.
Wonder if anyone's still listening.
Without
we didn't do any like massive.
Stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was saying. I was like, nothing really terrible was said. Nice job, guys.
I had a bit of an anxiety attack when I figured out what you even meant by a podcast. When you asked if a fourth, I was like, oh, he means the new Halo campaign. And it was up till the point where I messaged you again when someone told me that the new Halo campaign was 2-player. And I was like, well, what did he mean? And then I had to go around and ask these other people. And then I saw that there's 3 people in the podcast channel. And I was like, my heart sunk. I ran downstairs. I got ready. I came back up. I was like, all right, I gotta get in here. But
Yeah.
there's to anybody who is still listening, there's gonna be another podcast coming up. It's gonna be more squad related. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, good job for. I hope you guys didn't say anything stupid. I
No,
hope you guys are
didn't.
we
treating
did.
it weird.
It was
I
more.
kept him under control.
It was more just
Attaboy, I
a
appreciate it.
hangout.
Oh,
And,
Jimmy kept us under control. Yeah,
yeah.
fucking bullshit guy.
Jimmy was right there with us.
Exactly.
Well,
No.
shouts out Jimmy for figuring out his mic. Like I didn't even know it was him.
I didn't even do it, bro. That was suck.
You're
Like literally
welcome.
10
That was
minutes
me.
before we
What
started.
did you do? It sounded so metal
okay,
and so loud.
So here's
Oh.
the issue he had. So he has a Blue Yeti, and he had it in, if I'm not mistaken, interview mode and not in cardioid mode.
Does mine sound like his now or before?
Your sound's fine, guy.
Okay,
Yeah,
you're
you're
on the-
saying it's just
I
me
have a
that's
Blue
upset.
Yeti.
On the back of your microphone, make sure the dial is set to the kind of like weird heart shape. That's what you want.
Oh.
Anyway,
shit. So-
you guys have a good night. It is currently 1:34 p.m. or a.m. Sorry, 1:34 a.m.
PM.
Eastern. And I had a great time with you guys. Thank you so much. And for everybody else that is still listening, thank you for being here and enjoying and hanging out with us. We know that this wasn't your standard podcast where we went through like topics too much. We were just bouncing off of each other and talking about pretty much whatever we wanted. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have fun. Good night.
Take
Good
it
night,
easy.
guys.
See you guys.